headed back to the river to look at the Bermashave riverbank signs and share the important message concerning continuing ministry in Kairos Torch. I'm really excited that you've come along to learn about this vital part of the Kairos Torch program. The Kairos Torch Continuing Ministry program has 3 components. The first is a 6-month mentoring program. The second is the monthly reunions. And then the third part is the weekly group Bible studies after the commencement of the weekly mentoring. We'll be on the river shortly to discuss all this in depth. It's just at the end of the path. But before we get there, let me share a fundamental message about working with youth. It is of utmost importance that you feel called to work with youth, especially those who are considered high risk. High-risk youth are defined as the disconnected because they rarely have family to rely on or a healthy support network to help guide them. Their lives may be filled with risk and characterized by drugs, sexual exploitations, violence, living on the streets, and family breakdown. And they typically have difficulty trusting adults and perceive that they are alone in the world. These youth are in the developmental stages of their lives, so they're still discovering who they are, their likes, their dislikes, and the world of possibilities. Working with youth, especially troubled youth, takes patience and persistence. Seldom will we see them transform as quickly as adults since they are traveling through the human developmental stage of teenage rebellion. Those that understand this human dynamic know that they're truly called to work with youth, possess the love that's needed in working with them, and understand that they are planting trees under whose shade they may never sit, are well positioned to serve in Kairos Torch. In some youth, you will be planting seeds. In others, you'll be watering seeds that you or others have already planted. But God gives the increase in the season of His choosing, and we're not always around to see the fruit of our labor. It's important to understand that and to find satisfaction in knowing that you're doing God's work. The Kairos Torch mentoring relationship is developed with one-to-one mentor-mentee pairs in a group setting, meeting for 1 to 2 hours weekly for a maximum of 6 months. Kairos Torch has these required guidelines in place for the continuing ministry, which allows for healthy discussion and activities specifically designed to meet the needs of the participant and assist in their holistic growth and development. Mentors can never replace parents, nor should they ever try. Sometimes the incarcerated youth will begin to look upon a caring mentor as the substitute parent, especially if the parents are not active or they're abusive in the young person's life. It's important that the mentor approaches the mentor-mentee relationship as one that does not omit or write off a parent. A large percentage of these youth have strong parental issues, which are addressed in the father fracture and the mother wound section of the Mentor's Guide. Substituting a father or a mother may not allow the mentee to deal with the parental issue, approach the subject of forgiveness, and may even aid in masking the relational pain. If the mentee does address the mentor as dad or mom, take the time to gently inquire about the parents and the relationship with them. Let me give you an example. The mentor might respond by saying, "Wow, that's really a high compliment to be called your dad or mom. Do you feel comfortable telling me about your parents?" Or the mentor may say, "Is there something about me that reminds you of your parents?" While the mentor doesn't want to set any expectations as to what they'll hear, good or bad, neither should they force the conversation if the youth doesn't want to talk about his parents. Christian mentoring is the focus. The term mentor is not written in the Bible, but the concept of mentoring is firmly presented and spelled out through both the Old and the New Testament. Scripture decisively demonstrates mentoring as part of our Christian journey and responsibility, both spiritually and naturally, with God being our focal point. Let's talk a minute about the use of the Kairos Torch Mentor's Guide. Sometimes your mentee may want to talk about what concerns them or something that transpired that day or that week. Listen intently to that conversation. You may be able to use it as a teaching moment in their lives. But when you get back to the mentoring session, remember that all sessions are facilitated with the use of the approved Kairos Torch Mentor's Guide. These guides are gender specific and have been specifically designed for mentoring incarcerated youth within the Kairos Torch program. These lessons are relevant to the growth and development of the youth while residing in a youth facility, but are pertinent to developing holistic life skills once they leave the institution. Be sure to complete the monthly Mentors Checkup. Mentors are to respond every month concerning the mentee's involvement and progress during the mentoring sessions. These reports are found in your Mentor's Guide and are to be submitted to the Continuing Ministry Mentor Coordinator to document behavior changes from the mentor's perspective. The full set of reports is then sent to the Kairos National Office every month by the Continuing Ministry Mentoring Coordinator and used as the evidence-based data to document behavior modification from the mentor's perspective. The entire program relies on this data to validate the Kairos Torch presence in youth facilities to promote pro-cultural behaviors. Monthly reunions are interlaced throughout the mentoring modules to nurture supportive relationships and should not be used in place of the weekly mentoring sessions. Kairos Torch reunions are an opportunity to build community, renew friendships made during weekends, model healthy supportive relationships, and to provide fun, youthful activities. Following the minimum 6-month one-to-one mentoring relationship, participants are invited to become a part of a non-denominational Bible study. This allows the youth to experience a healthy transition from a close relationship and integrate into a small accountability group. Well, I've certainly enjoyed spending this time with you traveling down the river on such a beautiful day. Your leader will entertain any questions you might have concerning any part of the continuing ministry in Kairos Torch. Thanks for your time.